Hi guys, it's still Mr. Richard. We are on question 9. Well, I know that most of you have written the Prelim 2022 September. Well, it's not the end of the road. Effort never dies. We are still preparing for November 2022. So in this video, we are going to work with a cubic graph, right? So we at 9.1 there, we are given that a cubic graph f of x is equals to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d is defined by the following properties. F of negative 2, f of 1, f of 6 is equals to 0, and f of 0 is equals to 12, and a is greater than 0. So these are the properties that we are going to use to sketch the graph of a cubic function. Another thing is that by using the given information above, sketch a basic graph clearly indicating the intercepts with the axis. That's 3 marks, right? We need to draw using this properties. Okay. Well, if you're new to this video, press the red button and subscribe, and don't forget to press the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video. And don't be afraid to comment. Remember that there will always be a room of improvement, and we keep learning. Yes, we keep learning. That's the spirit. Right. Okay, let's get started. Therefore, we know that we were given that f of negative 2 is equals to 0. So this is the same as negative 2, which is your x value, and your y value is 0 there, right? So we are also given that f of 1 is equals to 0. So this is the same as 1 and 0. And we are also given that f of 6 is equals to 0. So it's the same as 6 and 0. Right. We were also given that f of 0 is equals to 12. Therefore, our x will be 0 and our 12 will be y. Right. Okay. So we are required to sketch a graph. So to sketch a graph, it's quite easier. Right. Since we have the ordered pairs or the coordinates, it will be easier to work with this. Oh, otherwise you'll have a problem if you didn't know how to find the coordinates. So this is y-axis and this is x-axis. Then we know 0 and 1, so it's definitely that will be 1 and 0. And we have 6 will be somewhere here. 6 and 0. We have 0 and 12, definitely somewhere here. 0 and 12. We also have 0, negative 1, negative 2. So we have negative 2 and 0. Okay, so these are the coordinates that we're having, right? Okay, so we can sketch the graph. Okay, little passes here. Okay. Okay, it passes at 6 and 0. Sorry for my hand graph. Yours will be clearly, but this is how the graph should be. Yes, this is how we should sketch this graph. Yes, it's more like we are going to have such shape, right? Okay, at 9.1, not 3 point something, at 9.1. Then let's move to 9.2. Well, at 9.2, it's 4 marks. It says, show that f of x is equals to x cubed minus 5x squared minus 8x plus 12. A lot of students do struggle here. Guys, when you are given such question, you need to remember the conditions of finding the equation of a cubic function. Remember that there's a condition where if you are given 3 x-intercepts and the other point, there's a formula that you should use. If you're given a turning point and the other point, or 2 turning points and the other points. So those are the conditions that you should remember when you're answering 9.2. Let me show you how we can get 9.2. Well, when you're working with 9.2, we are going to use this formula. When you're given a 3x intercept and the other point, it will be a x of y, x minus 1, x1 and x2, as well as x3 So we have 3x-intercept and the other point, right? Okay, so in this case, what we could do, let's place our x-intercept first. What is our first x-intercept there? We know that will be x plus 2. Our second x-intercept, it will be x minus 1. Our third, it will be x minus 6. And as well as the other coordinate is 0 and 12. So 0 and 12, where x is 0 and y it's 12. Meaning that where there is y, we shall place 12. And where there is a, we shall place, where there is x, we shall place 0. So it will be 0 plus 2. All right. And 0 minus 1 and 0 minus 6. Right. Okay. So what is 0 plus 2? 0 plus 2, that will be 2. And 0 minus 1, that would be minus 1. 0 minus 6, that will be minus 6. Oh, therefore equated to 12. So in this case, we are looking for a, right? Let's work on this. 2 times negative 1, that will be negative 2 times negative 6, that will be positive 12a. Right, which is equals to 12. Then we are going to divide both sides by 12. We're going to divide both sides by 12. This and this cancels. We are left a is 1. Okay, so we are not done. Remember that we need to show. So a is equals to 1. Go back to the original here. So it's going to be x minus 1. And x, let's start x plus 2 there. And x minus 1. And x minus 6. Okay. Right, so let's work out using the FOIL method. The FOIL, let's start with the two brackets. X times x, that will be x squared. Negative, okay. This is positive 2, no? Right? X times x is x squared. 2 times x, that will be positive 2x, right? And, okay. All right. Okay, negative 1 times x, that will be minus x, and 2 times negative 1, that will be minus 2, okay? And x minus 6, let's work out this first so that we know. Okay, so this will be x squared, 2x minus x, that will be the same as x minus 2. Okay, we are done with this two brackets. And let's work out with the third one there. So this will be 1 times x squared. It's the same as, okay, it will be x squared. 1 times x, it will be x. And 1 times negative 2, it will be negative 2. So we are left with two brackets now. Okay. Then from here, we can say that x times... it's a FOIL method. Again, this x times everything there. It will be x cubed. And this will be x squared. And this will be minus 2x, right? And 6 times x squared, it's the same as, that will be negative 6x squared. And 6 times x, that will be, okay, that will be minus 6x. And negative 6 times 12, that will be positive 12. Okay, so from this part, we could say y is equals to x cubed. Then let's collect the like terms. X squared, right? Minus 6 squared is the same as minus 5x squared. And negative 2x minus 6x, it's the same as negative 8x, right? We don't have another term that goes with a constant, so we shall put 12 here. So it shall be plus 12. So that's it with 9.2. Let's work out with 9.3 now. At 9.3, calculate the coordinate of turning point of f. That is 5 marks. Well, the turning point of a cubic function, you may recall that it's a first derivative. That means we are going to derive that equation that we have shown in 9.2. Right, so let's get started. You may recall that our equation was y is equals to x cubed minus 5x squared. We have proven in 9.2, 8x plus 12, Right, since we are looking for the calculate the coordinates of turning point of f, what are we going to do? Right, remember it's given as f of x is equals to x cubed minus 5x squared minus 8x plus 12. Okay, so we are going to derive first derivative. This will be 3x squared. Oh well, minus 10x minus 8. Remember that it's in this 1 here, 1 times 3. It's 3, then 3 minus 1, it's 2. Similar process here. We apply. The differentiation part is very important. Right. Okay, since we have derived, right? And remember that when you derive, this is the first derivative, f of x will be equated to 0. So meaning that where there is f of x, we shall place 0, so that we are going to solve for the x values. Right, okay. So what are the factors here? Factors are 3x and x here. The factors of 8, it's 2 and 4. Here it will be plus 2, and here it will be minus 4. We call this method cross method. Okay, I shouldn't put 0 here because we've already put 0. Then we equate everything to 0. 3x plus 2 equated to 0. Or x minus 4 equated to 0. So 3x, when you take 2 to the other side, it will be negative 2. Divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3. X is equals to negative 2 all over 3. Or x is equals to 4 when you transpose to the other side. We are not done. These are just the x values here. So we're having negative 2 and 3. Also here we're having 4 and the y value. So for us to get the y value there, we are going to take negative 2 all over 3 and substitute it here at the original. When you substitute here, use a calculator now. What are you getting? Okay, when we're using our calculator, we are going to put negative 2 all over 3 and 5 minus x squared. Where does x squared? We shall put negative 2 all over 3 squared minus 8, negative 2 all over 3 plus 12. Definitely that gives us 400. So we are going to put 400 divided by 27. So that's the coordinate. And here, when you're putting 4, put 4 now. 4 cube minus where does x, put 4 squared there, minus 8 times 4 plus 12. That gives us negative 36 using our calculator. So we are going to have 4 and negative 36. Okay, so hope you saw how do we calculate the values of the coordinate. The coordinates of a turning point of f. Now we are going to 9.4. Therefore, at 9.4, determine the values of x for which the derivative is less than 0. Okay. Right. They want us to determine the values of x. What are they looking for here? Okay. This is quite easy to work with. Determine the values of x for which at 9.4, for which the derivative it's less than 0. So we are going to take our x values there. These are the x values that are going below less than 0 there. So in other words, it's going to be negative 2 all over 3. It's greater than x but lesser than 4. Lesser than right, lesser than 4 if I'm not mistaken, but it's yes, that's how it should be. Yes, that's how it should be. Right, then let's go to the last question, which is 9.5. Calculate the values of x for which f is a concave up. Once they say it's a concave up, we think of point of inflection. Definitely that's a second derivative. Let's get started. Let's kill this bit. Right, 9.5. Okay. So we are having, remember the derivative there, it was f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 10x minus 8. Second derivative will be 6x minus 10. Remember that they said it's okay. All right. They said it's concave up, right? So let's work out this concave up, concavity. But this is how you've derived it. Let's work out now the x values. Well, when they say it's concave up, that means it's greater than 0. So it will be 6x minus 10, which is greater than 0. So transpose 10 to the other side. It will be greater than 10 divided by 6. Divide by 6. Therefore, x, remember this and this cancel. Then 10 divided by 2, that will be 5. And 6 divided by 2, that will be 3. So in other words, x is greater than 5 all over 3. So that's the solution here. Hope you find this video useful, and don't forget to subscribe. Remember, we love you. See you on the next video, where we are going to work with question 10, the application of calculus.